Hey, what's up you guys? This is Sentai22 here. How you guys all doing? And today I'm going to talk about my reaction to the second episode of Power Rangers Super Megaforce titled Earth Fights Back. Now before I start, let me show you guys some recent purchases that I bought at my local Toys R Us. Now my original intent was to get the Legacy Dragon Dagger at my local Toys R Us and take advantage of the 50% off coupon that they have issued on the Toys R Us website, but the Legacy Dragon Dagger wasn't there. But thankfully, you know, I did pre-order the Legacy Dragon Dagger from the Toys R Us website just before they took it down. But I didn't leave empty-handed, so I bought a couple of Super Megaforce items. First off, I'm going to show you guys this. The Deluxe FX Super Mega Red Ranger, really awesome. I really like collecting these kind of deluxe Power Ranger figures just because even though they lack posability, I mean, they're really fun to collect. And of course, this is probably the only closest thing that we ever get to a Sentai Deluxe figure. Okay, my next purchase, of course, we have the Power Rangers Super Megaforce figure pack, which includes all of the 5 Power Rangers Super Megaforce figures, including the main villain, Prince Velkar. From what I know is that the only way to get him is to get the pack. So if you bought the Power Rangers Super Megaforce figures separately, you may have to wait until he comes out separately as well. But if you haven't bought the Super Megaforce Rangers, then this bundle is the way to go. It's a Toys R Us exclusive, by the way. And man, I really love the packaging on this. Let's take a look at the top of the packaging. You have the Red Rangers, apart from the Alien Ranger Red, of course. Bandai, please make an Alien Ranger figure, please. And no, don't let it be a convention exclusive neither. And of course, here in the back we have all of the Power Rangers Super Megaforce right there. Really awesome. And of course the story in 3 different languages: English, French, and Spanish. So, as I said before, this set is the way to go if you haven't purchased them yet. And also it's a lot cheaper than buying them separately, because if you use the Toys R Us 50% off coupon, you can slash the price down a bit. Originally this costed around $68, but thanks to the coupon I only paid around $49.29, so it's a pretty good deal. So again, if you haven't purchased the Super Megaforce figures, then the bundle is the way to go. So alright, now let's talk about the episode you guys wanted me to talk about. Earth Fights Back. So in the beginning of the episode, you see the city in ruins, a lot of smoke, and you see the people are rebuilding after the destruction. You know, what's kind of interesting about this particular scene is that over the past 20 years of Power Rangers, we never really get to see what happens after the Rangers defeat the monster of the week. You know, we usually see them defeating the monster and then, you know, go to school, go to the juice bar as like it never really happened. You know, I mean, keep in mind, you see a lot of these monsters wreaking havoc and destruction on the city, you know, leaving the city in mess. And then when you see the Rangers after they finish battling, you don't really see any destruction or anything. So it's good to see that, you know, in a sense that, you know, humanity still is triumphant after a battle. And of course you have all of the Rangers helping out as well. And of course you got Jake in the Shay costume, and of course you have Emma. For some reason now she's working at the Ernie Brain Freeze, and Noah looking for data on the previous Power Rangers of the past, of course, and then Troy, who is still looking for Robo Knight. Yeah, for some reason, suddenly, and probably a lot of fans know about this already, is that Troy has now become the Ryan Steele of Power Rangers. And then Troy stumbles upon the Armada in this abandoned factory. Of course, the Armada trying to destroy the city with some kind of device. And then Troy tries to stop them, and then he transforms into Megaforce Red. And then we cut to the other Rangers in a different location. They fight Unmorphed, which I have to say, this is probably one of the longest Unmorphed fights in the, I guess, in the Neo Saban era. I'm not really sure if this is the longest Unmorphed fight. Could be Samurai from what I remember in the final episodes, but this takes the cake. I mean, this was really awesome to see some really nice Unmorphed fights. And then of course after that they transform into Megaforce, trying to defeat the X-Borgs, but to no avail with their regular Megaforce power. So they go Super Megaforce, they transform into Super Megaforce. They try to transform into different Rangers. Of course, they transform into one of my favorite, and everybody's favorite, Power Ranger team, Power Rangers RPM. And they're finally saying a lot of the the transformation, the morph calls, like getting gear, and of course they're saying all the weapons. Noah's saying turbo cannon, which is pretty cool and all that. And then of course you probably already saw them transforming into the new powers. They say, now you've unlocked modes that have never been seen on this planet, and then they transform. As I mentioned before, I thought when I saw the trailer for the Power Rangers Super Megaforce season, I did not expect to see Die Ranger there. I thought this was just an error by the editor, maybe because he saw a lot of the pre-Jew Ranger stuff that maybe by accident he might have used that footage. But wow, I don't know if I'm mad or I'm excited at the same time. Now, for those of you who are wondering, and I always see a lot of this in the forums, Die Ranger is not pre-Jew Ranger. It is post-Jew Ranger Sentai. Okay? Technically, they did adapt Die Ranger. It's just that they did not use the suits from Die Ranger. They just used the White Ranger suits and the Zords from Die Ranger. That's it. So if you're afraid that they're going to use the pre-Jew Ranger teams, don't worry about it. They're just going to use the teams that they have adapted, even the ones that they didn't use. No, the Rangers are using these new powers, and they come together and try to use this kind of Kamehameha wave on the X-Borgs, and after that the Rangers meet Troy, and then they transform into SPD. Sadly, it's kind of sad that we don't hear the SPD theme in the background. But of course, there is a reason for that. The licensing issues. It could be that Disney still owns the rights to the music part of the Disney-produced Power Rangers, so I guess they didn't try to bother not using them. In a way, that's kind of what happened when when they did the Wild Force and Time Force team up. They didn't use the Time Force theme when Time Force transformed into Time Force. They just used the Wild Force theme in the background. So it's totally understandable that they didn't want to add a lot of money just to pay Disney for the music rights to that theme song. Of course, it is Ron Rosamund's song as well, so if they use that theme song, they probably had to pay him. So, and of course they unlock the new power of the Zord, the Delta Runner Zord, and they defeat the monster, and then that was it pretty much. So, and that was pretty much my little mini review. I know it's not perfect, but I definitely try my best. Here's kind of my positives and the negatives. The positives being the unmorphed fights. I think it's really awesome to see the Rangers in unmorphed form just fighting the X-Borgs. As well, the Rangers saying the Ranger weapons, that was pretty cool as well as the calls of the attacks. It wasn't a lot of dialogue while the Rangers were fighting, so that's pretty good. Now let me tell you guys the downside, and you probably already know about this already. The new powers, the Die Ranger suits. Now, don't know why they didn't give us an explanation. I mean, they could have used that opportunity while Noah was in the computer at school to trying to figure out this new power that he found in the Ranger database. And of course, the Ranger's transforming into SPD into this kind of Deca Ranger style transformation. If you guys notice, apart from Zeo, of course, they did use the same morph as O-Ranger, as well in Power Rangers Wild Force. They did use the same morph as Gal Ranger. But it seems that they were too lazy not to produce the original morph sequence that was in SPD. Instead, they just gave us the Deca Ranger morph. And that was pretty much very lazy on their part. And I have no surprise they will keep it that way. They're not going to do any morph sequence for the transition to Super Megaforce to the previous teams that had the original morph sequence. Instead, they'll give you the sequence that was in the Sentai version. And I think that was just pretty lazy, not for them to produce the original morph sequence. Also, as well, the SPD theme, of course, we didn't hear it in the SPD fight. Even though it's not a tribute episode, at least they could have included that. But I can understand because of, you know, the music rights still belong to Disney in a sense, as well as the original writer and producer of the SPD theme song, the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger guy, Ron Wasserman. So if they use the SPD theme, they would have to pay him and, of course, Disney for the royalties, of course. So, sadly, that cannot happen. So, all in all, I mean, even with the flaws, I mean, the episode turned out to be pretty cool, though. I mean, it's getting better and better every episode that I see. So, hope you guys enjoyed my little mini review. So what do you guys think of the second episode of Power Rangers Super Megaforce Earth Fights Back? So please guys, write your comments. So if you guys want, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel as well as my Facebook page, which is in the link in the description below. This is Sentai22, and thanks for watching.